Long ago, when the world was bright and full of stories, an evil wizard gained the power to touch the face of God. Narrativa, goddess of stories and weaver of our world, banished him to the void, but not before he stole a piece of her divine essence. With this newfound power, the wizard lay a dread curse upon all the world, the Glyph Purge, which struck from the minds of all mortals the knowledge of how to read and write. Now, all that stand between the Isle of Meotia and an age of endless ignorance are the bards, who tell stories of distant lands, exotic creatures, and brave heroes. This is one such tale.
Hektor, the Gatekeeper. You and your people are from the soaring, treacherous mountain range known by all simply as the Gate. It is a enormous wall of jagged stone stretching from the east to the west coast of the Isle of Meotia. It is snow-capped. It is full of bands of roving orcs and goblins, and it is also the home of your people, the Gatekeeper clan. Your family of barbarians resides in an enormous citadel built ages ago by giants who disappeared suddenly under mysterious circumstances. Your people fought valiantly many years ago to drive out the armies of orcs and goblins that had taken up residence within. Your people now are the sole guardians of the one main pass through the gate. It is flanked on both sides by these large citadels that your people now live in, and you make your living guiding people through these passes and keeping them safe from the monsters that dwell within the mountain range. Today, though, is not about combat or the defending of the foppish traders and travelers that come through the mountains. Today is a joyous day. Today is a feast day. Today, your cousin Oscar, one of many cousins, as your clan is a bit insular, is getting married. He has found the love of his life, and those two are tying the knot in some of the ancient traditions of the Gatekeeper clan. And so the day has been marked with festivals, with drinking competitions, and particularly with skills of athletic acumen. You and your many, many siblings, as well as other members of your clan, have spent the day deep in their cups and competing in the traditional forms of physical sportsmanship that your clan has traditionally pursued. In particular, today, there is an axe throwing competition. There is an arm wrestling competition. And finally, there is a beer drinking competition to see who can drain a flagon of strong Highlander grog the fastest. You find yourself in a broad courtyard in one of the citadels flanking the mountain pass. The whole thing has been festooned with decorations marking the occasion. Colorful flowers from the lowlands lie in large bouquets strewn about. Flower petals and streamers abound. Your tribe gets very few reasons to celebrate. And you are hanging out with two of your brothers, Calvin and Cedric, who are teasing you a little bit about the competitions today. Calvin says, "So, Hektor, I mean, me and Cedric here, we think we got you this time. I mean, you know, just because you're dad's favorite and next in line to be chief, don't think we're just gonna let you off the hook easy with this.
Now, little brother, one day I'm sure you'll grow into a strong man. But until then, I promise you, the mantle is still mine.
That's awfully big talk there, Hektor. Let's see how you do. You guys, your other brother stays stone silent, focused on the task at hand as you all approach the axe throwing competition. There are 3 targets, wooden targets, basically little chunks of log set against one of the walls of this courtyard.
Yes, only the finest for my cousin.
Yes, only the finest. The finest rugged mountain decorations for this beautiful wedding.
Rustic is in this season?
Absolutely, it's always in the mountains. Your cousin and his bride have already, of course, partaken of these challenges, getting the first crack at them, as is tradition in your clan. But you and your brothers Calvin and Cedric step up to the line. You each get 3 axes. Your sister, another one of the large brood you are a part of, your sister Bianca, walks down the line with the axes and hands them out to you. You each get 3. She hands 3 of them to you and gives you a sly wink. Don't worry, brother. I'm sure you can knock these guys right out of the park. And wanders down to your 2 younger brothers, Calvin and Cedric, and just kind of throws their axes on the ground at their feet with a loud clatter. Calvin jumps back and says, "Hey, sis, calm. You're gonna hurt somebody like that. Calm down." Your other brother just calmly stares at her, completely stone silent, as is his way. But yeah, so the way this works is you each get 3 axes. You get 3 throws at the bullseye. The competitor who gets the most axes closest to the bullseye wins. So we're going to take some attack rolls as you hoist your axes. You got any trash talk for your brothers before we do this?
Now, brothers, I wish you luck, and I wish you humility for when you lose.
I hope Protos turns his back on you for just this part. And yeah, you guys hoist your axes and you throw. Give me 3 attack rolls. Let's see how we do. I'll be rolling for your brothers. See how they do.
I got a 19, a 23, and a 17.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good. What are those numbers one more time?
19, 23, 17.
Very, very good. Very, very good. You absolutely and unsurprisingly just smoke your brothers. Calvin, your brother with the endearing speech impediment, he throws his axes, and 2 of them land completely outside of the bullseye, completely outside of the target. Actually, they loudly clatter off the stone wall behind these chunks of wood. His 3rd axe bites deep, far from the center. Your other brother, Cedric, with silence and steely determination, throws his 3 axes and gets pretty close. All 3 of them land on target. One gets very close to the bullseye, but you fucking smoke them. That 17 right on the edge of center mass, right on the edge of that bullseye. That 19, you get your axe on the bullseye, and with that 23, you split that 2nd axe. You split the handle right down the middle. You fucking double up on that shit Robin Hood style. And your brothers look at you and look at the target and look back at you, and your silent brother Cedric just shakes his head and looks at the ground, and Calvin's just jumping up and down. Of course, every time. I can't get a single break in this family. You're always showing us up, Hektor. This isn't fair. Why do you always do this to us? You're just embarrassing us at our cousin's wedding.
Come now, it's a competition. Cedric, you're coming along nicely. Great improvements.
He gives you a slight nod. That's all he gives up. That's all he gives up. Just super stone cold focused. Your sister Bianca, who's running this event, wanders over, collects the axes, shakes her finger at Calvin for his poor performance, and pats you on the shoulder. I knew you'd win. There's a reason you're next in line to be chief. That's very good job, brother. Not surprising. What are you boys off to next?
I believe next is the arm wrestling competition.
Ooh, yes, the arm wrestling. Well, give 'em hell. So you guys leave the axe throwing grounds and you head over to the arm wrestling. This is a little different. This is a small pavilion set up farther off towards the middle of the courtyard. And there's actually a pretty sizable crowd around this one. There's two small wooden chairs centered or seated at opposite ends of a thin, low wooden table, and it is surrounded by 24 rowdy Gatekeeper barbarians. They're deep in their cups. They are red-faced. They're singing old war chants. As you walk up, a member of your clan with enormous biceps is just wrecking another one of your siblings. Which sibling is this? Because you have many.
Likely Claude.
Claude. Yeah, Claude never was good at this stuff.
No.
So, one of your stronger, one of the stronger members of your clan with massive biceps, as you walk up to the arm wrestling competition, is just handing Claude his ass, metaphorically speaking. Claude is sweating bullets. His hair is matted to his head, and he is straining with every inch of his body. His legs are shaking with the strain, and he just can't seem to topple this guy. And eventually, he gives up the ghost, and he is nearly flipped off of this table by this gentleman, who you know as. Let's go with Kent. Kent, one of your fellow barbarians, not one of your siblings, but you know everyone's name around here. It's not that big a community.
Besides, I'm set to be chief. I should know my people.
Absolutely. So Kent, who has the biggest biceps of just anyone in the whole clan, just flips your younger brother Claude right off this table. Claude actually comes sprawling off of the table and lands almost at your feet. He's breathing heavy, he's cradling his elbow, and he stares up at you almost ashamedly, like, hey Hector, that's sorry, I did my best,
No need for apologies in this family, little brother. And I help him to his feet.
Calvin just laughs. Claude, you stupid son of a bitch. You thought you could take Kent in arm wrestling competition? I can't believe it. And
I grab Claude's face and point him towards me, just kind of like tuning out our other brother.
Yeah.
Just, you are improving. You'll get him next time. I'm sure of it.
Oh, nice. I like that nice inspirational speech. I'll tell you what. Why don't you go ahead and roll me like a persuasion just to bump his spirits. That's the best mechanic we have for just like, improving somebody's mood. So you're giving it this nice little.
Okay.
What'd you get?
I got a 17.
Excellent. Yeah, your brother Claude perks right the fuck up. You give these inspiring words like a leader would. And he perks right up. He stands up. He straightens his shoulders. And he's like, "Yeah, you know what? I think maybe you're right. I'm gonna go do some push-ups right now, just to He's not going to show me up again. He rushes off. Calvin looks at you. You're such a daddy's boy. God. Well, are you going to go show him what you got? And Kent is sitting at the table, not sweating, completely calm, but he's staring at you with just murder in his eyes. He's been obviously waiting for you. He says, all right, then. Let's have it, Hektor. Let's see what all the hubbub is about. Does the chief's son have the strength of arm, the strength of heart to take down Kent? And as you can, I'm sure, imagine, Kent has like a fur vest with like very obviously cut off sleeves. He's got a like a woolen cap that's turned backwards, like like over the top. He's ready. He's in it. There's vague power ballads playing in the background. It's a little weird.
Kent.
Yeah, we meet again. You ready to get your ass handed to you in front of all the rest of your family?
You might want to watch your words. It may not go your way today.
Well, I guess we'll just see, won't we? Have a seat. And everyone around is like, oh. There's a lot of chatter amongst all the witnesses, the people all standing around the audience that is gathered.
I quite performatively stretch out my arms and remove my shirt.
All right, so the top has been popped. You are shirtless. Your arms are stretched, and you take a seat across from Kent.
I turn the chair around and take a seat across from Kent.
Extreme in your casualness. I love it. No, it's great. Everyone runs like, ooh. They start pulling out coins, and everyone starts placing bets back and forth over who's going to win this one. So Kent puts his elbow on the table, palm up, hand open, ready. I assume you grab his hand.
I do.
All right. So how this is going to work is basically we're going to roll strength contest. We're going to do this best 2 out of 3.
Okay.
If you get way, way higher than the other person, that might be a bit easier, but we're basically going to do best 2 out of 3, and we'll see who takes the cake on this one.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll me a strength check. And I'll do the same for Kent here. We'll see who gets higher.
6.
Okay.
Rolled very low.
Not coming in super hot. Kent didn't roll that high either. So you sit down at the table, full of dramatic flair, and you start your muscles straining. But Kent has those fucking biceps, man. He is straining with every bit of strength he has in those massive guns of his. Neither of you make any progress. You're stuck in a deadlock. Let's see how this next one goes.
18.
Kent rolled a 1. So you did much better, much better than him. In fact, he did the worst he could possibly do because he rolled a 1. So that means that you fucking obliterate Kent. We don't even need to roll another one because he got a critical failure. Oh yeah, for those of you that don't know, whenever you roll a 1 on something, using your 20-sided dice, if you're rolling an ability check or a saving throw or an attack roll, if you roll a 1, you automatically and instantly fail. It's called a critical failure. As opposed to getting a 20, which means you automatically succeed, a critical success. So Kent fucking beefs it, and you own his ass in front of everyone. At first, you guys kind of deadlock, and everyone realizes pretty quickly that you were just kind of putting Kent on a little bit, and then you lock eyes with him, and, like, how do you... You want to put some stank on it? Like, what's the narrative here? Like, you fucking definitely win. How do you win? Like, what do you do? Do you throw him across the fucking room?
I think probably the table broke.
Yeah.
Underneath our.
Yep. You flex, and he's straining his massive biceps, but you get that good deep grip in there. You grab his fucking thumb, and yeah, you, with all of your barbarian might, with the strength of the blood flowing through your veins, you slam this dude's hand to the table, and then slam the table in half, and then take Kent all the way to the fucking floor through the table.
And I want to note, quite importantly, that I do not let go.
So Kent is now on the ground, and you are like holding his hand to the floor.
And then I, still holding his hand, use holding his hand to pull him up to his feet.
Oh, beautiful. Amazing.
And I pull him straight into like a half hug and put my other hand on his back and just say into his ear, "A contest well fought."
He is incredibly pissed as you help stand him up. His eyes are wide with rage. He's visibly shaking, especially because all the spectators around are now like, oh shit, oh damn, oh got him. They're all going crazy. A bunch of money's changing hands. Looks like a bunch of people bet on you and they won. But as you pull him in for a hug, Kent like visibly calms down. Is like, of course you're gonna be the fucking chieftain. God. By the gods, get out of here. A titan among men, ladies and gentlemen. You like hold your hand up like you just won a wrestling match. Fair and square, Hektor. Hektor is won. Congratulations.
A great champion is made only with a great challenge.
Oh. Huzzah! Says the crowd around you. Yeah, you're definitely winning hearts and minds here. Are you campaigning for office right now? Because you're doing a great job.
This is just how I am.
Awesome. So you've won the axe throwing competition, showing your accuracy and acumen with the throwing axe, sort of the signature weapon of your mountain dwelling people. You've won the arm wrestling competition, showing your brute strength and brutality, and now the most important competition lies ahead of you: the drinking competition.
My favorite of the competitions.
Yeah, and it must be noted that this one quite wisely has been saved for last, because last year the drinking competition was first, and boy, that axe throwing, not great after the drinking competition. I think Steve's still missing an eye after that one.
I apologized.
Yeah, well, sorries don't make eyeballs. He still got the patch,
It's very regal.
Yes, One-Eyed
Honestly.
Steve is the most regal of all of you in the Gatekeeper clan. Old One-Eyed Steve, a monarch, walking amongst you.
Monarch with a K.
A monarch with no depth perception. So, the crowd around you kind of cheers and carries you forward into the drinking hall, which is has not been specially erected for this occasion, but is just the Gatekeeper drinking hall. It is, like everything else in this place, made by giants, another one of the things they left behind after their mysterious disappearance. And like everything else, it is fucking enormous. There is a...
Fun fact, we use the same cups.
You do? You use the same cups. They're basically buckets. Absolutely. They're small kegs that you put handles on. Yeah, absolutely. The you guys walk across the courtyard and you get to the drinking hall, which is the size of like a football field. It is enormous. The ceilings are 30 feet high, with these big wooden beams holding it up. Huge, open on the sides with long wooden tables set out, just brimming with food. One of the great things about the position that your people have is that you do, through guiding travelers through the gate, you do have exposure to a lot of travelers, a lot of merchants. You are, mountain-dwelling barbarians, but you do get, like, pretty good stuff. You get pretty good food from many different corners of Meosha. You get, food from the north and south, some exotic spices, some pretty choice spirits, and, of course, nothing can beat the Gatekeeper grog, the special brew made only by your people, with a formula and recipe jealously guarded against all who would try to sell it in the lowlands.
I have never known an outsider to last a full cup.
No one has. No one has. It takes a specially strong constitution, which is why this drinking contest is such a lauded tradition amongst your people. The challenge here is to take one regular-sized Gatekeeper cup, which, as you've, stated, is a giant's cup. So we're talking about a flagon that is 3 feet tall and 2 feet wide, that you have affixed special human-sized metal handles to, just so you can pick it the fuck up. And the trial is to down an entire flagon, a giant's flagon of this Gatekeeper grog as quickly as possible, while draining the whole thing and not passing out. So it's kind of a threefold thing. You have to empty the entire flagon. You have to empty it as quick as possible, and you have to stay conscious after it's done. This is a great way for people to get drunk very quickly, which, helps the mood of any party that the Gatekeepers have. But it's also a pretty telling test of your hardiness, your fortitude, your constitution, if you will, which is going to be the mechanic we use to settle this one. So you get into the beer hall, and of course, everyone's happy to see you. The bride and groom have already taken their seats at the end of the mead hall. They are in the seats of honor, and they're, holding court as everyone dances and sings and chants their drinking songs all up and down the feast hall. Your father, the chieftain, Rufus, is here as well. He gives you a loving and very approving nod as you walk in, trailing this group of fans following you into the mead hall, and you approach the table assigned for the drinking competition. There are a few Gatekeepers who are red-faced, doubled over, just puking their guts out. They are on their feet. They have not passed out, but boy, are they sick. This is kind of the scene you walk up to. It is totally normal. This happens all the time. It's a very common side effect. But, yeah.
As I pass by them, I just, ha-ha, and pat them on the back.
Yeah. Absolutely. No judgment here, fellows. So you approach a drink competition, and another one of your siblings, of course, is overseeing this one. And what sibling would that be?
Eric.
Eric. Your brother Eric, who is the drinker in your family. The reason why Eric oversees this is because he likes to go shot for shot with all the contenders, and no one's ever seen this man get drunk under the table. He's also the fattest of your family, which just may help a little bit just with the physics of it. But, yeah, your brother Eric.
Really, they feed into each other.
Yeah. Your brother Eric pats his broad stomach, which hides, the rippling steel of muscle beneath, but he pats his broad stomach, belches mightily, and says, Hector, we were waiting for the party to start. What took you so long, brother?
I had a few other competitions to win along the way.
Yes, and he won't let us forget a single one of them. Oh, Calvin, always so jealous. When are you going to get over it? Why can't you just be silent and respectful like Cedric? Silence is golden, Calvin. Yeah, silence is... You're golden. Wait. Shut up. Good one. Good one, Calvin.
Now, Calvin is just trying to find his voice.
Hektor the Peacemaker. It's a wonder to me that you have the strength to defeat your enemies with such a big heart. Ugh. Well, let's see if we can make that heart race a little faster, shall we? Are you ready, Hektor?
Almost. And as is family tradition, I walk up to my brother Eric, and I rub his stomach 3 times before I go sit at the table.
He laughs mightily and says, yep. That's the key to victory. Let it be known. I keep telling you, no one listens. That's the way to victory. And Eric turns, his large stomach sort of flopping on the table. He says, who amongst you has the strength, the fortitude to face my brother Hektor in a drinking competition? Who amongst you is brave enough? And everyone cheers, but no one steps up. Everyone's pretty quiet. No one actually seems to have the fortitude to challenge you. But then your dad gets up. Rufus, the chieftain of the Gatekeeper clan, stands up, and everyone goes dead quiet. All the cheers stop immediately. He is smiling. He looks around. He is hefting, of course, the symbol of his authority and rank, his double axe, his orcish double axe, which is this long wooden haft with a double-headed axe on either end of it. Weapon he won from an orc chieftain he slayed many years ago. His totem of power, sort of a staff and scepter. He throws it over his shoulder and says, you know, I haven't had a good drink yet. No offense to the caterers, of course. I think I'd like to see how my prodigy's coming along. What do you say, Hektor? You think you can beat your old man?
I can only try, Father.
Humble as always. A wise young man, he says pointedly, looking at everyone. He saunters over, and everyone just goes fucking apeshit. Ah! Ah! It's like Clash of the Titans to them. It's crazy. The chieftain and his son, who's gonna come out on top? He saunters over. He is an intimidating man. 6'7", just rippling with muscles, huge, broad shoulders, wielding this impossibly large, heavy weapon with the ease that someone would handle a walking stick. And he's obviously older, getting up there in years. There's wings of gray at his temples, and his long beard has a lot of gray hair strung through it. But he is, despite the lines in his face and around the corners of his eyes, a powerful, powerful man. He comes and claps you on the shoulder like a thunderclap and sits down at the table next to you, puts his double axe on the table, and 2 enormous, giant-sized tankards of ale are placed on the table before you. He looks over at you and gives you a wink. Let's give him a show, shall we, son?
The only way I know how.
He slams both fists down on the table on either side of his flagon, grabs it up. Eric, to the side, holds up his hand and says, all right, everyone, 1, 2, drink! And you both upend these huge flagons, foam splashing down the sides of your face. And now we're both going to roll constitution checks. There's a lot of booze to get through. So, actually, we're going to do fortitude. We're going to use your saving throw on this one. So we're going to roll a fortitude saving throw to see if you can withstand this powerful, delicious, but powerful Gatekeeper grog. As it's so good once it hits your lips. So you both tilt back, and what'd you get?
22.
Jeez, Lou, that's very, very good. Your dad did not get so good. So, Hektor, you upend this flagon, and you are going at a fine clip. You are running right along. You no flinching, no hesitation. You are just down in this grog. It's washing over your face. It's splashing on the table. Your dad gets the hiccups. Like almost as soon as he tilts it back, he starts, which is definitely impeding his progress. We still got a lot more to get through. Why don't you go ahead and roll me one more fortitude save and see how well you can polish this thing off.
9.
9. That's not too good. Your dad only got an 11, so you start to slow down a little bit. He's got the hiccups. He's trying to power through. He's timing his gulps now and starting to get some air in, and he's definitely creeping up on. You're slowing down a little bit as this stuff hits your head all in one go. So you guys are starting to be like neck and neck, and let's see how this last third goes. All the good stuff's always in the bottom of the tankard. What'd you get?
23.
Good Lord, your dad got 15. Hektor, geez, Lou. Yeah, you down the remainder of your flagon like it's nothing. You drink the stuff down like it's water. You finish it, wipe your mouth, and I assume let out a hearty belch. Yeah, absolutely. Your belch echoes over the whole feast hall with the high ceilings. You really get a lot of good acoustics in here, and you drain your flagon, smash it on the table, stand up, and let this giant belch just rip out of you, and your dad finishes like 3 seconds after you, and then hiccups really hard and kind of wavers on his feet a little bit. He catches himself very quickly and follows you with another impressive belch, but it is absolutely clear that you are the victor. And everyone just goes apeshit. Everyone goes nuts. Everyone's on their feet cheering. Even Oscar, the groom, whose wedding you're at, and his wife both like, no, it's his day. It's his day. We're just happy to be here, honestly. It's for him. It's not for us. Your brother Calvin says, all right, that was very impressive. I can't believe I've never seen anyone outdrink Dad like that before. That's good job. Just honestly, like objectively, that was a really good job. Eric says, I couldn't have done any better myself, brother. That's how you feeling?
Yes.
Your father claps you on the back like a thunderclap again and says, the mark of a true gatekeeper. You're going to do excellent work, son. And it's just then that a lot of the cheers died down, but not completely. There is one person that is still clapping. After all the cheers have ended, after all the chants died down, all the thudding on the table stops, there is still one person applauding. It's the weirdest thing, because it is not a big sound. It's incessant. It cuts through the crowd, and eventually, when it doesn't stop, it gathers the attention of everyone sitting in this feast hall, and you look around and you notice the source. There's a small raised dais in the corner of this room. It's used for performers, and there was a performer in here when you walked in. Obviously, it's a festival. There was some music playing. You were so wrapped up in the festivities you didn't really notice, but this performer is clapping still. You look over and it's a gnome. Tiny. Puny, really. 3 foot nothing. The shock of snow white hair. These blue eyes, a little too big for his face. He's got this huge beak of a nose with a significant bend in it. And he looks at you and continues applauding until he realizes that everyone else is staring at him and he's the only one clapping. Almost seems captivated just looking at you, and then he quickly stops. He takes the flute that he was playing, forgotten at his side, puts it back in its case, and saunters over to you sheepishly. Everyone continues their conversation. They kind of chuckle at how awkward this little man is. He wanders over to you and says, my word. That was an impressive display, I must say. I don't find myself in these parts very often, but that was inspiring, heroic even, if I may say. The prodigal son outshining his own father at a festival. That's the kind of thing you don't find every day.
Well, my father had been drinking already. This was I'm sure on his best day, it still wouldn't quite. What are you implying?
By the Lady of Stories, humble too? Oh, you are perfect. Forgive my manners, forgive me. I'm just very excited. My name is Sebastian Weaver. I am Bard Extraordinaire of the College of Bards in the Everspring Mountains. You are Hektor, son of Rufus, of the Gatekeeper clan, yes?
That is I.
My boy, you are everything the stories say you are. I am delighted to make your acquaintance. I was hoping I could get your help with something.
Wait. There are stories? Of me?
I'd like to talk to you about making some more.